You know, friends, on occasion, I get surprised by airgun releases. And this is one that does that for me. I was not expecting this, didn't find out about it until recently, which means none of you knew about it, certainly. But this is the new Venturi Alpha, and we've got a lot to talk about today, so let's dive in. Now, friends, normally we get new releases at SHOT Show, and obviously SHOT Show 2025, we didn't hear about this gun, and SHOT Show 2026 is a little while away still, so I'm sure we'll see it there, but obviously Venturi launching this right around the holidays, right? So kind of a weird timing, but I'm sure that is probably tariff related, like many of the delays we've seen across the industry. But this Alpha is really freaking cool and achieves a price point that is going to be very attainable and attractive to all of you out there. This is a sub $300 gun. I believe around $270 in terms of a street price, what you can buy it from us for. So that's freaking sweet. Now, there's a lot going on here, but this is not the only gun that's going on in this Alpha family. You also have, this is a carbine with a tube. You have a fuller standard length rifle with a longer barrel, longer tube. You have both lengths with an aluminum bottle, and you have the carbine length with a 300cc carbon bottle. Brian will put up a graphic here to show you some stuff. But there's a lot going on. This is 5 guns in one family, and we're focusing on this guy because it's the most price point attainable, and also both from a size and form function, I think the most attractive, but your mileage may vary, and those options are out there so you can choose. But Venturi throwing us a little curveball late in the year. But let's talk about the details of the Alpha. Now, going over the details of this Alpha compact tube version that we have in front of us, one thing to know up front, 22 caliber only across all the models right now. That could, I suppose, expand into 177 and 25, but that'll probably be dependent upon how much you guys like it and maybe demand those other calibers. But that aside, this compact tube, like all of the guns, runs a short little moderator. There are baffles inside of here. It is a fixed moderator, so this isn't attached to a barrel that's threaded half 20. Well, maybe it is, but it's glued on there, so it's permanent in a way. And all of the barrels do have this carbon fiber look shrouding over them. This is a 12.2-inch rifle barrel underneath here. The whole package comes in just a touch over 4 pounds, obviously, minus the scope, and right around 33.5 inches or so. So 12.2-inch barrel, 33.5-inch overall length, and that is a fixed length. This isn't a multi-point adjustable stock, although it does fold, and we'll show you that in a minute. Now, underneath the barrel, we have 118 cc, if my memory is serving me correctly, air cylinder that fills to 250 bar. That's 3625 psi, and it does so by way of a fill probe, and you pull the little cover forward and slide your fill probe right in. You can leave it that way, and there's no negative effects of doing so. I don't like losing fill probes, so that's probably what I would do, but just know that the fill probe does have that QD. It's very easy to get to. The cool thing, this is regulated. So fixed regulator inside of this cylinder, same with the bottle versions if you opt for one of those. Where the difference comes in is in this little forestock and kind of this over the barrel rail section. That's what I'm going to call it. So you do have M-lock slots here on the underside and on the sides that you can utilize for accessories if you so desire. You want to mount a bipod, you can get an M-lock to Picatinny setup. Very easy, they're pretty inexpensive as well. And then you do have pick sections on the sides here. These parts vary a little bit depending on which version of this Alpha you are gonna get. But just know you've got a lot of ways to accessorize this little carbine if your heart so desires. Coming back, we do have an all-metal breech system. While these fore-end pick rails are polymer, as is the handguard here, the actual breech itself is metal. It looks to be cast and a kind of a non-traditional Weaver Picatinny style setup that fits the rings that come with this Mantis 3 to 12 by 44 side focus scope just fine. So should be very easy to use for all of you out there. You do have a nice drop down side lever, very easy to use, pulls back nice and smooth, and the safety is on the left hand side of the gun. This is safe right here. You flip that up, you got that red dot. That is hot and ready to go. Talking about maybe decocking it as well, Same system we do for a lot of guns. We're gonna hold this lever back as you see me doing here and pull the trigger. You can maybe just hear it release off that sear, but now we are all good. I can throw this back on safe and everything is good to go. Right hand side lever only. It is not flippable or adjustable, so you get what you get there. It's a metal side lever unit as well, so that is always nice to see. Dropping down, we do have a 2-stage adjustable trigger. You have a couple different points of adjustment. The manual details how to do it, what each screw does, so that is a big thumbs up there. Out of the box, it feels okay, maybe a little odd, I suppose, in terms of maybe not having the cleanest 2nd stage brake, but feels like a pretty good solid hunting trigger. Maybe not great for target work, but this is a great little pesting package, and I think that's what most of you are going to see it for. Grip is a nice rubberized A2 style grip that you should be able to replace with other AR compatible grips if you so choose. Now, as we slide back here, one thing you will notice is on the back, you do have a couple bolts on the rear stock section, and that does attach to a rear Picatinny mounting section. And you can just simply fold it out of the way by popping this button, pressing it in, and folding. Cool thing about this, you've got a magnet here and a magnet up a little forward of it in the forestock, and that just locks right into place. It's not going anywhere. So a bit more compact package for traveling or transport, what have you. And when you need it, folds right in. You hear that little click and you are locked in. And this is a very solid polymer stock, not gonna go anywhere. One other thing to note that's kind of unique, I guess, is that there is a degassing screw here. So if you do ever need to service the gun or something like that, you can just pop that screw, let all the air vent, and you can work on the gun safely if you need to, or if you're maybe traveling with it or something like that and you need to degas it for that. So you do have options. That is very cool as well. But I love the integrated folder there. This is a really well thought out setup. And of course, because it's Picatinny mounted, you can move that up and down a little bit, depending on what kind of optic you're running or what have you, to make it the most comfortable for yourself. Now let's talk about these magazines. This is a polymer magazine, but doesn't kind of follow what we've seen in the past from a lot of manufacturers. This is actually has its own kind of cycling mechanism that's going to get tripped when you pull the bolt out, but it doesn't have like the cover system, so it's a little unique in that regard. It does also lock into the breech with a magnet, which is cool, but loading it, very straightforward, very simple. You just drop your pellets head first into there, you slide it to the next one, and it locks in place. You don't have to hold anything, nothing funky, nothing difficult. You just pop those pellets in as you go and keep on moving. 10 round mag here in 22. And that's our last pellet in, and you can see we can't rotate it any further. Now, to load this in, you simply pull our side lever back, all the way back to the rear, and it does hold in place there. And then we slide our mag in. Now, as I said, there is a magnet on this side of the breech here that's gonna hold it in place. So you can see it kind of wants to slide forward there. And you can maybe see that magnet right there. And your corresponding magnet on the bottom of the magazine itself. So just slides into that breech nicely and locks into place. Good to go, very easy to use. We'll take this out and I will decock it because we are headed to the range, because we're getting to the important part, friends, and that's how this guy performs. Because for the price point, if this thing performs well, it's gonna take over. But let's find out. All right, guys, so the Alpha off the bench at 45 yards. I will say, and I've said this before, I'm not a huge fan of shooting guns this small and this lightweight off the bench, but is what it is, gotta do it. So JSB 15-8.9s, 0.94 inch 5-shot group. So sub 1 inch at 45 yards, and actually almost identical results, a little bit lower there, different hold for me, on the JSB RSs. I think those are the 13-4s. So not bad. Like sub 1 inch is okay, $270-ish gun. I can't really fault that, but definitely more on the right direction. The JSB Hades, kind of wild. A 0.68 inch 5-shot group there, and that represents just over a 5/8 inch group. So much better results out of the Hades, but that 15-8.9 and the lower range from a weight standpoint is where this gun seemed to prefer. It did not shoot anything heavier than that with any sort of accuracy at 45 yards. At 25, 30 yards, fine, but once it stretched out to 45, it just kind of lost control of those heavier rounds. So that lightweight stuff's cruising more in the 880, 890 and up range. So good to know, I guess. And running this Athlon Rangecraft Chronograph certainly helps me keep kind of a close eye on those velocities in real time. But let's put it over the chronograph. I am not expecting a huge amount of shots out of this little guy cylinder here, but let's see what this thing is doing speed-wise, power-wise, and shot count-wise, and then we will test the trigger and all the good stuff, sound, and we'll see you back in studio. Putting the Venturi Alpha over the chronograph here, this compact tube configuration with those JSB Hades weighing in at 15-8.9, you are looking at an average velocity right in the 845 foot per second range. This thing does about 16-ish shots in a very, very tight regulated space from about 850 down to 840. Those numbers were great, and you can get a few extra shots out of it from there to get you 2 full magazines, basically to 20 shots, and you're still above 800 feet per second. It really falls off past that though. But you are pushing 24, 25-ish foot-pounds with a relatively light 15.9 grain pellet for a decent amount of shots for a very small cylinder and a short barrel. So I don't hate these numbers. The overall spread and standard deviation look very, very good for the regulated on-reg portion of this shot string. 250 bar down to 135 bar. It's gonna treat you just fine. All right, friends, let's wrap up the Venturi Alpha, this unexpected end-of-year offering from Venturi. This compact tube setup's really nice. I like the feel, the fit, the just look of the gun. It's awesome. I like the folding stock, the fact that it comes with a moderator, shrouded barrel. It's got a nice look to it, and it's relatively quiet as well. All good things in my book. Not a huge shot count. That's not unexpected. There are going to be other variants of this gun with a bottle, an aluminum bottle, and a carbon bottle option for this compact size. And if you want even more power, because this thing's pushing 24, 25 foot-pounds, that's pretty good for a 22 of this size. But if you want more power, you can get the longer barrel, longer tube variant. You're gonna get more shots, more power out of that gun as well. But side lever's smooth, magazine system worked really well. I've not seen this magazine yet, so that's cool. You've got accessory options here with M-LOK and Picatinny stuff to bolt on if you so choose. The trigger is adjustable, so this was where it came out of the box basically for us, so a little over 3 pounds. And a nice feel to it, nice take up, easy break. Overall, there's a lot to like here. No adjustability, and I'm okay with that, because for under 300 bucks, this thing does quite a bit without having to play with anything. It's a pretty simple system. You fill it up and you go. I'm not a huge fan of fill probes, but at least it's got the QD. You can certainly leave it in there if you want. But overall, the Venturi Alpha, for an unexpected end-of-year offering, this gets 2 thumbs up from me, guys. This is pretty sick, and very, very cool to see another kind of compact offering here in the sub $300 space. So if you are into those sub $300 PCPs and you are looking to get your next compact pest control carbine, I guess, head on over to pyramydair.com and check it out. For The Insider, I'm Tyler Patner. As always, we'd appreciate it if you would like, comment, let us know what you think of the gun and the rest of the Alpha series after you go check them out on the website. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Keeps us going here and we appreciate it a ton. I'll see you next time.